All right. Today, we're going to release another component. This one's still probably early access. We're still in the middle of debugging and making sure that everything works. But if you want, install it, give it a whirl. And if you find any issues, just get back to us. On another note, if you guys are using our components, don't go to Adalo support right away. They're busy enough. Just give us a shout if you're using our components and you do have issues. We'll try to take care of it so that the Adalo people can focus on non-PragmaFlow things. So with that said, it's the real-time chat. So the first project that we actually started with Adalo was a chat app, and that didn't go so well. If you guys have ever implemented your own chat system, it doesn't really work quite well. So hopefully this component will be able to make it work better for you. So let's just hop in and see how we're going to make this work. So on the left, we have one user. On the right, we have another user. We're using private tabs. So let's go ahead and create a new chat. And let's just reload this page, because we're not doing this in real time. You can use that flag. So now we have the chat messages. So now I can enter in the chat on both screens. And so when I send a message from one person, it gets received by the other person. So we can see that we're actually chatting back and forth, and it's happening in real time. And now what I'll do next is let's actually close this window. Let's open up a new window, go to our phone mode, go back to the site. Oh, sorry, I'm in private mode, so I actually am not logged in, but because I copy pasted everything, I got right to it. There we go. So now we'll actually log in. There we go. That looks better. Back to normal. Glad to hear. All right, so let's dive in and see how this chat system actually works. So it's a single component. It's called the real-time chat component. It has the messages as well as the message sender. So if you remember a little while back, we had the Ably sender receiver. So this actually has Ably built into it. To use the real-time chat, you will have to go to ably.com, register with them. It's pretty, well, it's free if you're just low volume of chat. As you scale, it'll scale with you. So just go ahead, sign up free, get an API key, and then you'll be able to use the real-time chat. So data structure first. So we are going to have users. We are going to have conversations. Conversations are going to have a unique ID for the conversation. It'll have a many relationship with messages as well as user conversations. So we want users, we want to be able to chat to 4 or 5 different users at the same time. So what we do is we have a users conversation tab. This is how we do many-to-many relationships without using the Adalo many-to-many. So if you do this, you'll be able to have many-to-many where you can do filtering. So we have conversations. Conversations have messages and user conversations. We have messages. There's the sender, the message, and which conversation it belongs to. We have user conversations, which a user can be part of many user conversations. And many user conversations can belong to conversations. So when we started, we clicked on this button, which linked to the new conversation modal. New conversation modal just has a list of users where it's not myself. When I click on the OK button, we want to first create a new conversation. We're going to give it a unique ID. So this actually comes from the randomizer. So the randomizer is a marketplace component. We are going to change a hidden input field right here. The value of this input field is going to be the unique ID from the randomizer. This is just so we can save it and then use it for the ID of the conversation. Once we've created that, we're going to make it a user conversation. And this user conversation is going to be the selected user from the dropdown. Or the name of it's the selected user from the dropdowns. This is how we can know who we're conversing with. Then the logged in user and the new conversation that we created. But we also want to join the other person into our conversation. So the name for the other person is the logged in user. So it'll be the name of the conversation is me. The user we're adding is the selected user from the dropdown, and we're adding the new conversation. So when we click on the OK button, it'll actually create one conversation and then two users in that conversation. Then we link back. This here is a list of user conversations where the user email is the logged in user. And I just gave it a quick title, which is the user conversation name, which when we clicked on OK, this name would be the other person that I want to chat with. Finally, I link to chat so that chat can get the user conversation. Now that that's all set up, let's actually go and configure this. So this is going to be a list of messages. We're just going to get all messages where the current messages conversation unique ID is equal to the user conversation unique ID. So this is how we're going to filter out the messages that we're going to display. We're going to want to sort them newest to oldest. And then we're going to put in our Ably API key, which is what is going to power this real-time chat system. Who are you? Well, this is the logged in user's email. This is so we know who's sending messages. The name of the socket channel. Just give this any name that you want. It doesn't have to be anything special. My chat system, whatever you want. This here is important, the subchannel to subscribe. This is where you're going to want to put that conversation unique ID. Otherwise, if you just put any random number here, then everybody in your system will receive everybody else's messages. This is how we filter the real-time messages for just the conversation. Now, we do want to still persist the messages that are being sent in real time into Adalo. So when a message is sent, we want to update the database in the collection of messages. The sender is going to be the logged in user email, and the message is going to be the message from the real-time chat. And the conversation is going to be the current user conversation. We can decide what we're going to show. So it's going to be the message to display is messages, sender ID is sender ID, create is create date. Send button, so we can customize the button here. If we want, we can make this a white button. Actually, that's maybe, yeah, there. Show sending indicator. When you click on send, it'll do the animation if this is true. If it's not, then you won't get that animation. Input style is this box right here. So we can increase the border width. We can change the border color. We can make it more round and change the background color to red, maybe not red. Let's change it like that. Sender chat styles. This is the person who's sending the messages, which is typically in a chat going to be on the right-hand side. Again, we can change this to red, change this to white, increase the border radius so it's more round. The left margin is going to control the indentation. Right margin, if you want to make it different. Padding is how much space before the message. And the receiver chat style is the opposite of the sender. So this is the messages from other people. So that's it. That's the new component. Like I said, we're still making sure, doing our due diligence to make sure the component works properly. Feel free to take it, feel free to install it. And if anything comes up, just send us a message.